Hey, how's it going? Now, as a lot of you guys know who've been watching this channel for a while, I've been working extensively on my text and messaging. I've been trying to figure out a good formula that will help out my clients when it comes to messaging and texting out women. And I have come to a lot of fucking revelations. From what I've seen is very few guys in this industry know what they're talking about when it comes down to texting and messaging. So I figured that I would put forth my own knowledge. The content here is not gonna be taken from some other person. It is me, it is mine. I figured this out over the course of just hammering this out, taking extensive notes and figuring this out. Now, as a caveat to this too, I started working with a company that helps out guys with building dating profiles, and I became their head coach. And through this, we were working through different stuff. We had a team of guys that were literally testing out the lines that we were using and we were coming up with to see what was the most productive and useful technique to use via texting. So what we're gonna be talking about is how can you text a girl properly, especially during quarantine. And with that being said, let's get into the video.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess, 'cause I've been living wrong.
Number one, text when you're in a good mood. Now, when you're texting, when you're in a good mood, when you're in a free of outcome kind of a headspace, you're gonna say the right thing. However, if you're feeling really needy, like you need the girl, you need a certain outcome, you're going to text the girl something that's gonna make her reject you. That's gonna make her repulsed by you. Oftentimes what I'll do is if I feel emotional about a text, what I'll do is I'll text it, I'll write it down, then I'll put my phone off to the side and I'll come back to an hour and see if I liked what I put down. If I didn't like what I sent down, if I don't like what I sent out, I will delete it and write something else different. Now with texting, there is attraction versus comfort. The same way there is with actual face-to-face talking to a girl. Now what this is you're playing the girl in her ego. Now if you're too outside of her league, she's gonna reject you because she doesn't wanna get that ego hit where she feels like somebody's outside of her league and she feels less because she talked to you. Now there's a caveat to this too. If you're too below her, obviously she's not gonna text you as well. So you have to play within the boundaries. Now, when it comes down to this, there's so many different aspects and avenues that a lot of times will be more tacit in the way of understanding. But for the most part, if you're not texting a girl enough, she's gonna stop texting you because she doesn't want to get rejected. But if you're texting her too much at the same time, she's also gonna reject you because she feels like she can do better. So you wanna play right here in the middle. If a girl is really hot, you guys wanna be taking more of a taking away frame where you have the girl chasing you more, where you do more brief responses to her long responses. I call this the void. If the girl is a very attractive, high quality girl, oftentimes this is a great way to text her. Because if you text her from this headspace that I am the one that is giving more value to the other person to me, generally speaking, the conversation is gonna go way fucking better. Now another thing you guys can do to develop your canned lines, to develop the lines that you use to talk and text with women, is steal the lines from women themselves. Now women are great at texting. They're amazing at this because they get so many guys hitting them up constantly. So usually if a girl texts you something that makes you feel a certain way, if you use that same exact text to a girl, chances are it'll work the exact same way the other way around. Steal the women's lines completely because they know what the fuck they're doing. Now this one actually isn't mine. This is actually from Julian Blanc. When I asked him, what do you do when you text a girl? His response to me was, how do you text a girl if you had a dozen girls waiting for you back home? And I still think about this to this day. That was 5 years ago and I still think about this. How would you text a girl if you had a dozen girls waiting for you back home? Now, something that I saw a lot from back in the day, especially with RSD, was that they were talking about messaging girls with memes. In my personal opinion, generally speaking, memes are terrible to text, especially as an opener line, try to get the girl having a conversation with you, because it's investing too much. I've never had a good time where I used a meme as an opening line to get the girl to start messaging me and start a conversation. The one caveat to this is the way that you can use memes in an effective way is to take away validation. So I had it on Tinder the other day where a girl was hitting me up and she was being a little bit too jokey and she felt like she was kind of trolling a little bit. So what I did was I just sent a meme of a guy who's doing like a, you know, kind of a what the fuck are you doing kind of a face. And when I sent that, she instantaneously started overflowing and spilling out all of her information. She started commenting and chasing me. This is a good way to use memes, but otherwise, in my personal opinion, I think they're overplayed. Don't fucking use memes. Now, here's another thing that I stole from another coach. I stole this from Todd, and I think it's a great technique that I still use to this day. When I'm about to go meet up with the girl, I text her an hour ahead of time that I'm gonna be 5 to 10 minutes late. Now, this is a great way to check to see if she's actually gonna show up on the date without you looking like you feel like she wouldn't show up, which would, demonstrate low value. So instead, you text her up, be like, I'm gonna be 5-10 minutes late. Now she's gonna text you up, be like, don't even worry about it. Now you know she's gonna show up. Now, something I see you guys doing a lot is that you guys will start getting sexual over texting, which is stupid. Never get sexual over texting. Never sex unless you've already had sex with the girl. Reason being is because you killed the tension. She knows she had you. If you're jumping immediately onto this, you're being an idiot. The right way of doing this would be to play it off, make it into a joke. So, for example, if a girl were to try to spin it with me, I would probably make a joke, flipping the frame, saying, I'm not that easy. You need to take me on 3 dates. I'm not a piece of meat. I have emotions. Yada, yada, yada. Long story short, do not get sexual with a girl over text unless you've already had sex with her. Now, another really good technique that I use myself is that if I feel like the girl's gonna flake me on the date, I will flake her first. This way, the dynamic has changed on the person who's deciding we shouldn't meet up. As opposed to her not meeting up with me, then it in her head becoming a value problem, where she thinks that I'm below her because she rejected me on the date. So instead, what I'll do is if I sense the girl's gonna reject me on the date, I will flake, tell her that I got a little bit too busy and I can't meet up with her, leave it alone for a week, and then I hit her back up again. Now, another thing you want to do too is you want to copy the type of guy the girl's into. So if the girl's texting you in a certain way, you want to look at this. Now this is more of a tacit understanding kind of thing. If the girl's texting you in a certain way, you want to text her as the male counterpart. So if she's texting you like a female bro, you want to text her back like a bro. If she's texting you in a very intellectual kind of way, you want to match her back in an intellectual way. You want to match her, tick for tack, because the way that she's presenting herself is the way she wants you to present yourself. People act in a way and try to present themselves with traits that they find admirable in themselves. So if you mirror back the traits she's giving you, oftentimes it's going to be a good result. Now, another thing I get all the time is, when should I text the girl? Now, I'm going to give you the answer right here, right now. The answer is that you should variate. You should variate the amount of times that you text a girl. It sometimes should be long, sometimes it should be short, sometimes it should be immediately, maybe to like a middle ground. Now, for the most part, if you're texting too fast, you're going to come across needy. If you're taking too long to text, you're going to come across as aloof and not really caring about her. But if you text her in a varying way, what's going to happen is that she's going to get a sense of push and pull. You were super on, now you're super cold. Now you're super hot, now you're super off. It's essentially like a push-pull kind of a technique. In the same way that you may have had a girl do this to you in the past, how to make you feel, in the same way, you're gonna make the girl feel this, so she starts chasing you. On the occasion that I do have a girl flake me, this is what you do. You take a step back, and you don't text her for a week. Then once the week is over, hit her back then and ask her, what is she up to? The reason being is because when she flakes, you lost a lot of value. You wanna show her that you were abundant, and you're not gonna chase her down like other guys would do, because anything else another guy would do is a terrible strategy in game. Generally speaking, either one, want to imitate the actions of a dude that she would find super sexy, that she has found in the past have been really attractive guys. You want to act like that person, or you want to avoid the fucking losers and do the opposite of what the losers do. Most losers, what they do is they either get mad or they get needy, or they go 100% cold and they never talk to the girl again. Those are the three ways. You want to do neither of these three things. Wait it out a week, hit her up, see what she's into. Respond with, no worries, it's not a big deal, I'll hit you up later. Hit her up in a week, hit her up in 2 weeks, see where she's at. Now, the final caveat and the final thing you guys should be doing is you guys should be writing out funnels. You guys need to be taking lists of all the girls that you are texting with, the ones you've had sex with, the ones that you've fooled around with, the ones that you haven't, the girls who have flaked you, the girls you've grabbed phone numbers from. Make a long list. Now, I'm gonna throw a technique at you guys that you guys haven't heard in a long time. It's called a pickup pension plan. Essentially, when you guys are going out for a long period of time, essentially you're gonna be collecting a lot of phone numbers. You're gonna be going on a lot of dates, you're gonna be getting a lot of sex. And if you're like deleting all the phone numbers, if you're deleting the girls, if you're getting rid of them, if you forget about them, it's just like literally it's a lot of future prospects that you're losing out on. So why not keep track of all these girls? If I had done this efficiently myself, I would have had hundreds of girls' phone numbers in my phone that I can hit up at any point. Like, why would I go on Tinder if I have 100 girls on my phone? I can just hit up one of them, be like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? What are you up to? And then one of them is gonna be in the right place to come hang out with me. Why don't you guys do the same thing? Now, the final thing I want to get into is journaling. Now, when it comes to this, you guys want to be keeping track of your texting, screenshots, looking at what you guys are doing right and what you guys are doing wrong, so you guys can learn from your mistakes. Is there something new that you're learning? Is there something that a girl said to you that's super fucking cool? Write it down. Use it for later. You guys need to be learning from your mistakes. This is a field where, honestly, aside from cold approach, this is actually probably the most straightforward way to get good at something. Where cold approach is very all over the place and there's so many different variables, texting has a lot less variables and is a lot easier to learn. However, you have to think critically, keep track of your progress, know what you're doing wrong and right. If you try something out, if you try a technique out like you should be, you experiment to see if something works, and it fails, now you know. Keep track of it. Be like, oh, I said this failed. Why did it fail? Now I know this. Oop, that's another one in the bank. Oh, this one did great. Why did this one do great? And how can I use this in future text and future messages? How can I mold this thing that is this skill set into something really fucking fantastic? That's what I want you guys to do. Now, if you guys have any cool ass techniques, leave them in the comment section below. Now, one last thing, I'm actually be giving out a quarantine special. Now, I'm gonna be giving 3 boot camps, $500 off a piece. That's 25% off a piece for pre-sales. Now, I know we're still in quarantine, we can't do a boot camp yet, but I want to get a lot of you guys on board because we're coming out of this thing pretty fucking soon. Now, if you guys have been looking to get a boot camp with me in the past, this is the fucking perfect time to do this. I'll be looking for 3 people specifically that I'm going to be giving this price to. If you guys are interested in jumping on a boot camp with me and you guys want it at a discounted price, hit me up at dentondating.com. We'll get it on a call and see how it goes. And with that being said, peace out.